Who's your prepping nurse? That's me, Sally. Today we're going to be making Cajun red beans and rice. The rice I'll just add in at the end of it because I am making it in a crock pot versus actually cooking it on the stove. Normally you would brown or saute rather 1 cup of finely diced onions, which I already put in the pot, and I've got my red beans in the pot also. After soaking them overnight, I use the little red beans because supposedly I've never had them before, but I keep hearing about how good they are in rice and beans. You would have 1/2 cup of fresh bell pepper. It could be red or the green. It doesn't really specify. And 1 cup of diced celery. I am using on my preps because I'm working on experimenting with cooking with them more. And I haven't really done dried before in the past, but I do have dried bell pepper. I've got a little bit of red and a little bit of green. It did call for 1/2 cup, so I used 1/4 cup and a combination of the both. So it's like 1/8 cup of each one of those. And then the dried celery, it called for 1 cup. I used 1/2 cup with that. So let's get started. I've got my beans in here. I've got my onions in here. The meat I'm going to add in later because it is actually from a dish that I made the other night. It is actually pork loin sauteed. I had made a sweet potato casserole with the pork loin diced up in it. So we are going to be using that up. I'll add it later since it's already cooked. So let's get started. I have got 1 tablespoon of freshly minced garlic. I've got my red green bell pepper and my celery. Whoops, sorry about that noise in there. We're going to add 1 tablespoon. Oops, here we go. Let's get those here. As you can tell, it's been a while since I took that lid off. 1 tablespoon of red hot sauce. Maybe it would be better if I took that lid off here. I usually just dab and sprinkle. I don't do tablespoons of this. Oop, there we go. And this is Frank's Red Hot Original. And then 1 tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce. I've already shaken this up. Let's see how this one does. 1 tablespoon. We are going to do, if I can get my lid back on here. It does not work on that. We're going to do 1/8 teaspoon of black pepper. I'm sorry. We're going to do 1 teaspoon of black pepper. And I'm not going to add quite that much, I don't think, because I can always add more later to it. We are going to do, I got that upside down, 1/8 of a teaspoon, and this is 1/4, so I'm just going to try and make it about half, which that is, of kosher salt. It does call for kosher. And 1 tablespoon of Creole seasoning. Dump this in here. And for the liquids, it calls for, and that is Slap Your Mama. I've heard so many people talk about it on YouTube. I got some yesterday just to try out. We're going to do 2 cups of chicken broth. And then we're going to do 5 cups of water. And I'm using tap water today. Usually I use, you know what, that goes on here. That's why that lid wouldn't fit. Usually I use filtered water. I do have a Berkey filter, and usually I use that, but today it's going to be tap. So let me grab that. And just to help rinse this out and get that extra good seasoning in, we're going to rinse out our tablespoon here. So that's 1. 2, 3, 4, and 5. So I will get this plugged in. I'm gonna let it cook for probably actually a couple of hours, and I will check it and see how well the dehydrated veggies are doing in it. And I may end up adding some extra liquid to it since I did do dehydrated. We'll see how that goes. But I'm just gonna put the lid on, we'll get it plugged in, and then we will be back. Who's your prepping nurse? It's me, Sally, and this is the Cajun beans and pork rice dish done. So we're gonna do a test try here and just see how it tastes. That is so good, folks. You can go so many different ways with so many different seasonings with this, but it is really good the way that it's made. This is the next day. I did let it set overnight. It is better after it's set, as far as I'm concerned. It was good before, but it's even better now. So if you like this video, hit the like button, subscribe, hit the little bell so you can get some future notifications. Thank you all. Have a safe day and keep prepping.